Breaking news tonight, Sean Diddy Combs has been arrested in a Manhattan hotel this evening after a grand jury indicted the music mogul. His attorney tells CNN that he is currently being processed. The charges are unclear as of this moment.
Sean Diddy Combs was denied bail for the third time. A federal judge saying that the government had proven by clear and convincing evidence that there were no conditions of release that would ensure the safety of the community.
You won't think about what's going on with Diddy behind the music mogul's most recent legal case arrival has left everyone in disbelief, and the circulating rumors regarding his health are simply relaxing after one of the most dazzling characters in the entertainment nowadays world, Diddy Combs, appears to be what's actually the shadow of his old self occurring behind the walls of such prisons. Hold on tight, for this tale is full with dramatic turns, whispers of treachery, and queries that will make you wonder if the story is more complex than it first appears to be the eye.
So Diddy, if you're just joining us here, was just arrested and taken into federal custody in New York tonight. Sources tell TMZ Homeland Security swooped into a Midtown hotel late Monday where Diddy was staying, and they arrested him.
As soon as Diddy entered the federal courtroom in Manhattan in December, witnesses to the 18th jaws hit the floor said he was remarkably thinner, and the confident was clearly gray gone. Persona larger than life, covered in wearing expensive outfits and a ton of diamonds, a guy nearly took its place. Indistinguishable in a faded khaki, his face was a stark exhibition in a jail jumpsuit. One reporter, Elizabeth, was exhausted. Milner, present in the courtroom on that particular day, simply told, "The man who once showed off a luxurious lifestyle now appears remarkably slimmer," which is maybe anticipated following months in a federal detention facility. Although the reduction in weight wasn't all that folks observed, others commented on his mannerism, characterizing it as remote, almost hollow, like the spark trying to locate him had been extinguished.
Incredible. And, it brings into context our whole system of innocent until proven guilty. Why is he not being given bond? And, we could debate that all day long. Of all people that's unlikely to flee or get away, well, he's got the resources to flee, but he's so recognizable. And isn't he innocent until proven guilty? Well, yeah, but, we have to recognize there are degrees of innocent to proven guilty.
Amazing, and knowledge puts our entire why the innocent to proven guilty system. Is he not getting bond? We could argue about that all day long. Individuals who are unlikely to run away or get well, he has the means to escape. However, he's incredibly identifiable, isn't he? And yes, you are innocent unless proven guilty. However, we must acknowledge that are levels of culpability to innocence.
Legitimate concern, no judge wants to wake up and read the headlines the next day. Oh, they treated this guy special and they gave him bond, and now he's gone and he fled from justice. So that's what's in the back of most judges' minds. On the other hand, we deal with cases where clients have significant funds sometimes. And sometimes where there's money, you can craft a unique solution. Years ago it was the ankle bracelet, the ankle monitor.
This striking change is very different from the Diddy that everyone knew September just a few months ago. He was seen a few days before his detention and laughing with pals at Central Park. And yes, hacky sack is being played. The carefree lifestyle of the mogul looked untouchable. Living in the center of New York was his ideal existence. Fast forward to the present, and that picture, hacky sack, it feels like a faraway memory. Joins Tupac, who was found at 500,000 microphones on YouTube, and is currently on course to have roughly 5 million subscribers. Striking contrast between his colorful public appearances and the weak figure observed in court has generated a surge in speculation on the status of him in prison. Yet he somehow still managed to overcome it. According to some, it's just the stark truth of existence. In the Metropolitan Correctional Facility in Brooklyn is a place well known for its terrible circumstances. Let's not mince words. This is not a 5-star establishment. Experts and former prisoners have characterized it as a nightmare that included crammed cells, indigestible food, and a basic hygiene is completely lacking. From the opulence, Diddy used to have Michael Cohen, a former inmate there, depicted a bleak scene of him waking up on a 1.5-inch mattress on a steel bed. "I can't find a cushion in an 8x10 cubicle. I can promise you that it is repulsive." In addition, the strain of getting ready for a trial that might deprive him of decades, and it's his physical and emotional well-being is understandable, are suffering as a result of years of being depressed.
With all the money he has and all the resources he has, they couldn't craft some solution that lets him be under some form of house arrest. And again, it sounds like special treatment, but the truth of the matter is, to incarcerate somebody like him is expensive to all of us. We're taxpayers. And he's got to have unique situations. You can't put him in general population where everyone wants a piece of him and everyone wants to be his friend and everyone. So,
but could this narrative is about more than just the harsh surroundings of the detention center? Things get there are intriguing rumors going around that Diddy's abrupt downturn may not be completely normal, that certain insiders are putting out the theories of foul play are just as crazy as they are chilling. Especially juicy rumor that says Diddy might have contracted poisoning from his inner circle of one's own. You heard that. Precisely the individuals he most trusted could have ultimately turned against him. Why would they conduct these hypotheses if they were betrayed? There are several, but one that sticks out is his legal issues are not the only ones. They implicate a group of people connected to his purported involvement, with the stakes so high that some people think his colleagues may have viewed him as a liability in the event that he flips to assist investigators, that the consequences could be disastrous for everyone by keeping him quiet. They could PR either permanently or otherwise. It's a hypothesis that they guard themselves, like something from a Hollywood thriller, yet considering the stakes, it's not completely out of the query.
Well, Sierra, anything's possible, right? But now this judge has an even harder time, I think, because the past judge locked him up, didn't let him out, and he's still there available for trial. If the new judge lets him out on bond and something goes wrong, and this isn't the analysis that I'm proud to make, right? We shouldn't be saying, well, judges are worried about their own skin and how they look if something bad happens.
Putting more fuel on the flames are claims that Diddy has made expressed concerns about his safety, but details come from hazy sources near the case have suggested that he has spoken worries about being singled out. There have even been rumors that his legal group that has allegedly advocated for additional safety precautions, while officials denied any imminent dangers. It is difficult to ignore the suspicion cloud looming over the circumstance. Then there is the issue of when Diddy will be. Evident decline is accompanied by a number of legal obstacles that have reduced his choices and more adversaries. In a matter of days prior to his most recent court appearance, a federal judge rejected his allegations that harmful leaks from the government proved to the media that Diddy had claimed that 2016 surveillance footage, something that happened with his former girlfriend Cassie Ventura, had purposefully released to damage his standing. But the judge wasn't persuaded by the decision, saying there wasn't enough proof to back up the assertion that this decision not only struck Diddy's defense plan a blow, but it made him feel even more alone. More plausible than ever that the pressure of his waning empire are at last getting to know him.
Try everything. They're going to try to transfer him. They're going to try to get him out. In a normal case where it's a high-profile person or a well-funded person, the prosecution and the judge is a little bit more concerned about wrongful prosecution, because people that are mad that they're being arrested for a crime they didn't commit can turn around and file for malicious prosecution.
Naturally, not everyone is embracing the conspiracy theories. According to certain, Diddy's situation is just the outcome of a man who was not used to adversity, abruptly thrown into one of the most difficult settings he could have imagined for years, living in a privileged cocoon. Now surrounded by opulence and admiration, he is confronted with the harsh reality of life behind bars. Even the most basic comforts are a thing of the past. Lawyer Mark Agnifilo provided a preview into the difficulties Diddy is going through, pointing out that just the meal has been a significant obstacle, based on claims that these days the diet comprises of fruit and cereal, and an item known as a breakfast cake at morning, followed by dull meals and meals that are very different from the he used to love fine dining. It's scarcely the fuel required to keep a guy alive battling for his liberty.
Sure, his money could help us craft. He could build a separate jail cell, and we could keep him there. Just interesting to me that they sort of said, nope, you're going to be treated not like everybody else, but a lot like everybody else. Having money doesn't do it. So I wouldn't want to be those judges. There's sort of a no-win situation for the judge.
However, we must remember who this is what we're discussing here. Diddy is a man who is renowned for his resilience and the capacity to recover despite hardship. His ascent to prominence wasn't presented on a silver platter to him. He clawed his way to the top and fought for it. The music business and creating a kingdom that appeared impenetrable to everybody possesses the fortitude to endure this experience. It's him, but the question still stands as to what expense the mental and physical toll of his current circumstances are clear, and his trial is still several months away. Therefore, it's unsure about how much longer he can put up with perhaps the most startling aspect of this. The entire saga illustrates how swiftly fortunes made. Diddy was at the change barely a year ago, peak of his abilities, a sign of achievement and excess in proportion. He's now a warning story that serves as a clear reminder of how transient power and fame can be whether his present state is the consequence of the terrible realities of incarceration are depicted in foul play, existence, or just the burden of his own one thing. His actions are catching up with him. It's evident that the world is observing and that the story is far from over.
They can't move in the general population. And would he be at risk? Sure, he'd be at risk. There's so many people that have nothing to lose, right? They're going to be in jail the rest of their life. They've got nothing to. They want their 15 minutes of fame. They were friends with Diddy, or they hurt Diddy, or they Diddy, or they did. I mean, there's so many, people in jail that this would be their moment. You can't put them there. Plus,
as gossip keeps swirling, one can't help but I wonder how Diddy will handle this. Come out of this experience with his legacy and reputation unharmed, or will he turn into another fallen star, renowned for his scandals more than amazing accomplishments, and possibly the biggest, most important of all, is he really the victim of a malevolent scheme? Or is this karma simply coming full circle? One thing is certain, but only time will tell. You won't want to miss this story. Keep checking back as the saga develops, because if we've discovered anything, it's everything in Diddy's life is always easy.
It sounded crazy. Like I said before, they said that 2,300 people reached out to the law firm, and out of the 2,300 people, I guess they decided to go with just a little over 100, which seems like it's they just put out the number and everybody's calling to see if they can get a check.
It's insane.
Mm-hmm.
It's insane. Now, again, he did say that nothing has been filed yet because he says he wants to make sure that they do their due diligence and get this right.
And suddenly, the scene is prepared for the upcoming chapter in this captivating story of Diddy's tragic change. And the circulating rumors surrounding his health are only the starting. The more you search, the more queries come up, and the more levels of this tale starts to fall apart. But while the world concentrates on his present condition, one cannot overlook the shadow of his course might involve the exact acts that constructed his empire, using the same tearing it down. Let's examine it in more detail. Shah Diddy's background on comms and examine the contentious incidents that have brought him to this juncture. What follows, you could be shocked even more by what comes next.
So hopefully we can get down to the bottom of this. I'm 100%, the charges against me are 100% false, and hopefully due to time, we'll start to see that.
It's impossible to discuss Diddy's present state without delving into the disputes that have surrounded him for years. But his most recent courtroom, everyone is talking about appearances. Regarding his physical deterioration, it's his history that genuinely makes a lasting impression on his introduce, the man who once established an empire of music, style, and impact has become a focal point for accusations. Numerous controversies, many of which have emerged, return to haunt him in the most spectacular way possible. Extremely unthinkable. What Diddy is going through feels like something out of the ordinary now. A strong character in Shakespearean tragedy destroyed by the same powers that once managed, but is it a premeditated act of karma, takedown, or something very different?
Did in fact occur, their argument is more than likely going to be that this activity was consensual, that this person was a willing participant, and not only that, but that these individuals assumed the risk of being present at those parties, engaging and voluntarily engaging in this conduct and being in those spaces, consuming alcohol and things of that nature.
A man in entertainment who changed himself from an industrious uptown intern documents into one of the most significant in the world of moguls. He wasn't merely he was a cultural architect and a businessman. From beginning legends' careers, similar to the notorious Big in producing Bad Diddy from Boy Records, was the best kingmaker, created a recognizable brand. With wealth and influence, whether at his well-known white party in the Hamptons or his expansive company, everything he touched seemed to be an empire, greater than life. Yet behind the glamour for years, there were always rumors. Some hints of dubious behavior followed him, but he never got trapped. Whatever the case, was the Teflon mogul. When charges were made, he always came out. For a long period, it appeared as though Diddy's charisma and might were plenty to avoid any significant examination, but now when those old legends' walls close are coming back and creating an image of a man who was possibly acting out an extremely risky game all along. One of the most notorious charges made against Diddy centers on the alleged freak-offs complex meetings that prosecutors claim to be everything but innocent, based on court records and other reports that these incidents were extremely supposedly planned, with participants forced to participate, as prosecutors make the case that these weren't just gatherings, they were something considerably more sinister. The disturbing details have resulted in many people wonder how far Diddy's influence that was extended in accordance with activities that were kept a secret for a long time.